Greetings everyone, this is Michael vs. Jason 2012, and this is the Bound for Glory 2012 results. I'm gonna tell you, Bound for Glory this year surpassed the, in my opinion, the last Bound for Glory pay-per-view, and I think the last few as well. This was a great pay-per-view. I loved it. It was we had some great matches. We had some, a great opening, we had a great middle, and we had a great ending. It's some shocking surprises. No, not the kind of surprise you were expecting or were thinking of that was going to happen. TNA really surprised us with this whole thing. I'll start off first with the X Division title match, RVD versus Zema Ion for the title. This matchup was kind of thrown in at the last few days before the pay-per-view. I think they should have had this whole thing build up, but I don't know. I guess they decided to throw it in there and have RVD go up against Zema Ion. I gotta say, it wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a good match. It was a very good match. It was a standard good one-on-one match. We had Zema Ion dominating RVD. Was pretty good against the challenger. We saw some standard RVD moves used against Zema Ion, and I gotta say, it was a good way to open the show with this matchup. I liked it a lot. I think TNA should have gone with a different direction with how it should have ended, but RVD got the victory. He is now the new TNA X Division champion. Congratulations, Rob. He's the new champ. I think this is the first title he's held in 2 years while in TNA. It's been 2 years since he's been champion, so congratulations to RVD on the victory. I still think Zema should have won, help him get over RVD, but that didn't happen. RVD got the victory. After the match on Twitter, Zema kind of complained about how it wasn't fair that RVD got involved in this matchup because he said that the X Division title the competitor should be at least 225 pounds or less. RVD is over that weight. That's what I've been told. But I don't actually care. I mean, RVD is pretty good, and he got the victory over Zema Ion. So we're gonna see what happens this Thursday on Impact to see what's gonna happen with RVD as champion, and see what TNA are going to do, because in some ways, yes, RVD is over 225 pounds. So we're going to find out later on. Next, we had Magnus taking on Samoa Joe for the TV championship. It was about time the TV title had somebody who could make the title important again. I'm not saying Devon was a bad champion. I think they should have given him more people to fight than guys like Robbie E., or Garrett Bischoff, or even Gunner. I mean, some proper competition. I liked this matchup. Both men did pretty well against each other. Both used to be tag team partners, and both pretty much took the other to the as best they could to the limit. In the end, though, Magnus went for a figure 4 leg lock. When he tried that, Joe took advantage and locked in that rear naked chokehold, and was able to beat Magnus with it. I think they should continue this rivalry between these two men, because I like how these two guys, I mean, they work together as a tag team. Just imagine how well they'll do as rivals, especially with the TV title on the line. And we might see the TV title become important again, because in the past it was important when we had guys like Booker T, AJ Styles, Kevin Nash, Mick Foley, and even Hernandez, even other guys hold it, including Rob Terry, who held that title and did pretty well with it. But as of late, not so much. So we'll see how this goes. Next, it is James Storm versus Bobby Roode with King Mo as the special guest enforcer. And this whole thing was a street fight. And let me tell you, this was a great match. I think they should have done it like in the middle, but it doesn't matter. This was a great match. I loved it. It had everything I knew it was gonna have. It had blood, it had weapons being used, and it had these two guys beat the holy hell out of each other. I loved it. I mean, we saw Storm and Bobby fighting all over the ring, and on the ram and everywhere. I mean, it was a great match. I liked it a lot. We saw James Storm getting bloodied up, even more than Bobby. I mean, Storm got so bloody, his whole face was covered in blood. We saw them going through one of the announce table, the Spanish announce table. As always, I mean, it's always the Spanish announce table that always gets destroyed. I've always noticed that. It's such a shame for those guys. We've seen, you know, King Mo get involved when Bobby Roode was kind of threatening Earl Hebner. King Mo got involved and almost helped Storm pick up the victory, but it didn't happen. In the end, though, this whole thing kind of ended. I knew it was gonna happen. It ended with Storm using the beer bottle. It all began last year with the beer bottle, and now, 1 year later, we finished it with the beer bottle. James Storm used it on Bobby Roode and ended it with the last call super kick and picked up the victory. Congratulations, finally, James. You won. You beat Bobby Roode. Hopefully we'll see these guys rival with someone else. I really was hoping that James would use the beer bottle again, because we heard the fans chanting one more time, I guess. I forgot how that go, but still, it was a great. I think James should have done that, but well. It was still good. I liked it a lot, and I'm glad that James got the victory. It was a great match. It had everything for this rivalry to end, and hopefully it does end, because I don't know if TNA are going to make these guys go one more time, or maybe have a loser gets fired match. I mean, who knows? I guess we'll find out on Impact. Next, we had Joey Ryan go up against Al Snow, where if Al Snow won, Joey Ryan would be banished from TNA. If Joey had won, he would get a full-time contract in TNA. This thing between I didn't really much care about this match. It was entertaining. I mean, there was some moments where we saw some entertaining moments, but it wasn't that great of a match. It wasn't that great. Like I said, it was entertaining, but not a good match. In the match, it all ended with one person. Matt freaking Morgan. Matt Morgan got involved. He came back a couple weeks ago. I guess he was supposed to go to WWE, but because of the whole lawsuit with TNA, they couldn't get him. He couldn't go anywhere, so he had to come back to TNA. And he got involved in this matchup, helping Joey Ryan with the carbon footprint to Al Snow, allowing Joey to pick up the victory and gaining a contract in TNA. Now, after the match, I thought Matt was going to kick the guy's face down, but instead he actually shook Joey Ryan's hand. And I don't know, I mean, maybe these guys are friends, maybe Joey convinced Matt to help him out. Who knows? I guess we'll find out on Impact. All I know is that Joey's now part of TNA, and we'll see how his career goes in TNA. He might become a X Division or TV champ, world champion. I don't see it. Tag team, maybe. We'll see. Speaking of tag team, this next one was a great tag match. It was a great tag match. I certainly enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it because it was a great tag match. This was, I think, a little better than. Well, it was a lot better than last year. We didn't have a tag team match. We had one in a dark match, but we didn't have one with these guys. I did like the tag match in 2010. That was a great match between the Motor City Machine Guns and Generation Me. But as far as this one goes, it was just as good. We saw these three teams go at it. I think they should have had this a TLC match, but it was still good. We saw some great moments from these guys. We saw Daniels doing that springboard moonsault. We saw AJ going over the ropes, and we even saw, I think, Hernandez. Yeah, I think we saw Hernandez going to the top rope. I mean, these guys were great. We had some great moments from these guys. Kurt Angle, belly to belly to Kazarian off the top rope. We saw some great spots. This was a great tag match. I loved it a lot. In the end, it ended with Hernandez with the border toss and Chavo Guerrero getting with the frog splash, and thus we have some new tag team champions. About time. I'm glad Chavo and Hernandez were going to be tag champs. You know, I actually knew these guys were going to win. I knew these guys were going to become the tag team champions. the moment that Hernandez helped out Chavo. So I'm glad these guys won. I'm glad we have new tag champs, and hopefully the tag team division gets just as excited as this match was. This was a great match. I loved it a lot. A little disappointed AJ and Kurt did not win, but you know, I didn't care as long as it wasn't Daniels or Kaz. We have new tag champs, and maybe we'll see these two teams rival a bit more and see what happens next. All right. Next, we had Miss Tessmarker defending her title against Tara. This was kind of a rematch from No Surrender, where Miss Tessmarker got the victory over her former teacher. But this was another good match. It wasn't that great. It wasn't that bad. It was a good match. I liked it. It was a little better than the Divas matches we've had in the WWE. We saw these two. We saw this Miss Tessmarker, you know, trying to take down her former mentor, but in the end, when she missed hitting a elbow drop, Tara took advantage of that and hit the Will's Peak, and thus became the new Knockouts champion. I actually thought they were gonna have Miss Tessmarker pick up the victory over Tara because she kept bragging about how she was gonna beat Miss Tessmarker, how she won everything set up for a celebration. I actually thought this was gonna be a bite to the ass for her when all the bragging she was making, but in the end, she actually picked up the victory. Congratulations, I guess, Tara. And we finally found out who the boyfriend was. I thought it was gonna be John Morrison, but then I remember the whole lawsuit thing, so I guess they couldn't do that either. The boyfriend was actually someone who actually used to be part of Big Brother. His name is Jesse I can't even say Goddares. I can't even say his name right. I can't even say his last name, which sucks, by the way. Yeah, he's the Tara's Hollywood boyfriend. The fans didn't even know who the heck this guy was. They kept chanting, who are you? Who are you? I guess that's what they were saying. I can't remember, but all I do know is that this guy, nobody knew who he was. Nobody cared about who this guy was. All we know is that he's a Ohio Valley Wrestling tag team champion. He's a current tag team champion. As far as I'm concerned, though, I do not see this guy getting anywhere in TNA. I don't think he's going to have any future in the company. I think the only reason he's even there is because of Tara. So, let's see how long this thing lasts. Let's see how long he lasts around TNA. Alright, next we had the no DQ tag team match with Sting and Bully against Aces and 8, where if Aces and 8 lost, they would have to leave TNA forever. If Sting and Bully lost, then they would have free access to the Impact Zone. I was very surprised that the crowd was with Bully. I actually was surprised. Sting was wearing a Bully shirt. You know, I was very surprised by this whole thing that Bully was actually working with Sting well. It was a brawl between these two teams. They fought all around the ring. We saw them bring in Joseph Park, aka Abyss, to ringside. He was handcuffed. In the end, we almost saw, we saw a third member of Aces and getting involved. Joseph Park broke free of the handcuffs and, got involved taking out the guy. But as it looked like TNA was gonna win, a fourth member of Aces got involved and attacked Bully, putting him right through the table. And thus TNA lost. So Team TNA lost, but then Hogan came out and started taking out all the members of Aces and 8 except the guy who I think was the one who took out Bully Ray through the table. Sting and Bully caught the guy, and then they removed the mask. I did not see this coming. I actually thought it was Eric Bischoff, but as it turns out, the guy who was the leader of Aces and 8 was Devon. Yes, brother Devon. Oh, my brother, testify. He was the leader of Aces and 8. He was the one behind it. He kept saying, "I'm the one behind it. I was the one behind it the whole time. He was behind the whole thing. I did not see it coming. Sting did not see it coming. Bully Ray, Hogan, the fans certainly did not see it coming. They all thought it was going to be Eric. I mean, we all thought that. TNA certainly surprised us all. They shocked us with this whole thing. So I'm going to give you guys credit. TNA, congratulations. You shocked us. We thought it was going to be Eric Bischoff, but I guess they decided that it was too predictable, so they decided to have a Devon. Man, I gotta tell you, I'm actually surprised. Devon escaped, of course. He escaped, and it was an awkward moment for the guys because they did not see this coming. So, I mean, the fans knew it was an awkward moment, and wow, I am looking forward to Impact this Thursday. TNA's really made their show interesting, and they made it interesting, and they made it interesting for many of us to see what's going to happen next. Let's keep it up, TNA. Keep it up. Alright, next we come to the match that I think was the match of the night. It was Austin Aries defending his title against Jeff Hardy. This was a great match. I loved it. We saw Austin showing off what brought him to the dance. We saw Jeff Hardy using what has helped him stay in his career for so long. It's helped him accomplish so much. I loved it. This was a great match. We had some great spots between these guys. I thought Aces and A were going to get involved. I guess not. It was a great match, and it was a great ending. Better than last year's, and I think better than 2010's year. It ended with Jeff Hardy winning the TNA World Heavyweight title. Yes, Jeff Hardy is your new TNA Heavyweight Champion of the world. Congratulations to Jeff Hardy. I actually thought somebody might get involved and help Austin retain the title, but TNA, I guess, didn't want Jeff Hardy to lose, and Austin was right. They were setting him up to lose. It ended with Jeff Hardy winning the world title. He finally won the world title without any controversy in TNA. He did pretty well. I liked it. The fans, I think the fans liked it. Some of them liked it. Some fans, I think, were cheering for Austin to win. Some, I think, were disappointed that Austin lost. In the end, though, Jeff, he picked up the victory, is now the World Heavyweight Champion. I applaud Jeff Hardy for a great victory, and I applaud him for winning the World Heavyweight title. The whole thing was based on redemption. Jeff, we all know what happened months back in 2011. We saw how he had those issues to go through, how he kind of messed up Victory Road, and how he fought so hard to get redeemed for his actions. I certainly think Jeff redeemed himself for what happened, and I'm very happy for this whole thing. I'm happy Jeff won, and I congratulate him for everything he's done to get to where he is now. So now Jeff Hardy is a former 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. He's a former WWE Champion, and now is a 3-time TNA Heavyweight Champion. So that's 6 world titles he's won. 6 times he's been World Champion. I gotta say, that's a great thing for Jeff. But let's see how long he holds on to that world title. Hopefully it's more than a month. Hopefully it's longer than his first world title reign in TNA. I'll have to wait and see. Well, I'll give TNA between a 1 through a 5 star. I'm gonna give this pay-per-view I gotta give it a 4.5. I gotta give it that. One of the reasons was because of the Joey Ryan match. I think it was a good match. It was entertaining, but it wasn't that good match. There was also that. Was also the RVD and the Sema Ion match. I think they should have built it up a little better. That way the match would have been a lot better. And along with the Austin and Jeff, they should have built it up a little more when Austin started saying those things on Impact. That's just my opinion. 4.5, that's as best I'm giving it. It was still a great pay-per-view, a lot better than the last 2 we've seen. I congratulate TNA on a job well done. You guys did well, and hopefully we see more pay-per-views and shows. Take care, everybody. Goodbye, and see you all for Impact. Take care.